Hello guys, welcome to day 2 of our coding journey. I'm so happy to be here with you because today we are building actual websites, not tomorrow, not next week, today. By the end of this lesson, you will have a real profile page live on your screen that you build with your own hands. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered how Instagram displays your profile? How Amazon shows product descriptions? How literally every website you have ever visited is structured? The answer is
Simple. So you just create your HTML page, which is the file we will do right away. You create the file, modify it, then by the grace of God, as we move on, you learn CSS. You style it the way we want and make it nice, and it will look like Amazon, Netflix, Facebook, etc. So today we are going to cover the topics as listed in the screen. We have HTML basics, tags, elements, and structure. We have understanding tags and how they work. We have HTML elements, attributes, source, href. We have headings, paragraph list, links, and images. Then a profile page tags.
okay, guys. So we are going to work on HTML basics, tags, elements, and structure. So we'll understand how HTML is structured and how tags and the elements in it. So HTML is the structure of every website. It organizes the contents on a web page and tells the browser what to display. Everything you see on a web page begins with HTML. So before then, let's create a folder for our project. I think most of you have done that in the last video assignment or task, where you are asked to create 3 files in a folder for your project. So let's do that right away. PC, if you are using PC, you go to anywhere in your file explorer or any path in your PC and you create a new folder. You can name it anything, but I would advise you to name it um something related to the company's web dev sync, right? So that you would have a good record for it and receive. And if you're on mobile, you can do the same. You can go to your file manager and you create a new file, sorry, a new folder, then you open it with your trep edit editor. If you have any question, you can send it directly to the DM. Thank you. So the next thing you would do now is open this folder we've created with VS Code. What will I do? I would right click on the folder and open with code. Yours might not show. So the best thing to do is go to the VS Code, sorry, go to the VS Code, then you open the folder directly. I would open the folder directly from the VS Code, which will handle all our files for the project. So what will I do next? I will go to the path in which I created the folder, which is my desktop. So after going to desktop, I would look for web dev sync bright. So after going to the web dev sync bright, I will select the folder and boom, it is now opened as a project in our VS Code. So what will we do next? We are going to talk about the HTML structure. So what are we supposed to do if you will ask yourself? The first thing is to create the new HTML file. So I would go straight, create it, index, and mind you, we use lowercase for the naming, index.html, and I save it, and okay, we are in our index.html. So I want to point out something. For every website you see on the internet, we know is the backbone is the HTML. So the HTML file is not just like that. You create it and you start writing, and you expect it to work in your browser. No, the HTML file has a default structure. So what will you do? If you are on PC, to generate the real structure which you must use anytime, anywhere you are using the HTML, you must have the structure. This is a must, it's a mandatory stuff. So if you are on PC, to generate the HTML structure, what will you do? You can use shift 1, then to pop this up, then you can hit enter and your structure is generated. So this is the default structure of your HTML. If you're on TrebeEdit, if you create a new HTML file, something will pop up asking you HTML snippet. You can click on that and it will generate it automatically for you. So let's talk about the structure a bit. But before then, let's learn how to open the HTML file in our browser. If you go back to your folder and you click on it, then you can see from here that the file has turned automatically to a browser type file. So I can double click on it and open it. As you can see, nothing is here because nothing is in the file. So whatever you are writing, any website you are coding, anything you are doing in HTML, it must be in between this body, these two things. It must be in between them. You can't write here, you cannot write here and expect it to work. Even though it will work, sometimes it is clearly invalid because there will be a time whereby it will start throwing you errors. So where are you to write all this? In between this body. So let's talk about the document structure. We have doc type, which shows that the type of the document is HTML, then the HTML language is English, then we have the head. The head is not visible in the browser, rather it is visible here. If you can look at it, here is document, the name. So this is the title for the web page. I can change the title. Let's see, first project, and save it and refresh, and you see automatically it changes. So this is the use of this head. As you can see, the head has a beginning and it has an end, and you can see the title has the beginning and has an end. So we'll talk about it soon. So let's talk about the body. Anything you write must be in between these two things, the body, the first and the closing. And also there's an HTML opening and closing. So let me give you an instance. You can write whatever you wish and save. Then we try it, refresh. As you can see, it pops out. So this is how we write our website. You design things, you write it, and you start it. So I think this is the basic things we need to know for the HTML structure. We'll go for our next video, sorry, our next thing, which is about HTML tags. Okay guys, we are going to talk about tags and how they work. So if you may ask, what is tags? What is tags? Tags are the instructions you give the browser. They are written inside angle brackets, something we call greater than and lesser than in our mathematics. Every tag tells the browser what type of content you want to show, whether it's a heading, a paragraph, or a link. So this is to tell you that all these things you see on the internet, live websites, they are all written with tags. If you see a link, this is to show you that that link is a tag. You see a link that you click, it takes you to another page. That is very easy to write. This is also written with a tag. You see an image in a website and you wonder how is the image there. We'll do that next. And then heading, you see different types of heading. You see some headings are bigger than the others, some are smaller than the others. These are also written in tags. So let's look at it practically in our VS Code. So if you go back to your VS Code, let me delete this and rewrite it. It is a tag. So let's try writing a heading tag. When I click on my sheet, then click on this, it generates me an angle bracket. So as we said earlier, they are written inside angle brackets. So now what is the name of the tag we are going to write? We are going to write an heading tag, a heading tag. So the first code for heading tag is H1, and you close the angle bracket, and if you shift, you will discover that we have two pairs. We have one pair which is having two parts. This is the first part and this is the second part. If you look at it clearly, they are similar but only a slight change. This is having a slash while this is not having. So the first one is called an opening tag. So please guys, take note of this because you would have at least a lot of interview questions and quizzes which if you are not taking notes, you won't be able to answer them. The first one is the opening tag and the second one is the closing tag. So, and if you see, the closing tag is different, it has a slash. So these are the only things that differentiate them from the opening. So where will you write whatever you wish to write? Let's say I want to write web dev heading, and heading, and I save it, and I refresh my browser. As you can see, this text is big and it shows that it is a heading tag. It shows that clearly and is bold. This is to show you that this is a heading tag that's written. Same thing applies to paragraph tag. To write a paragraph tag, you open the angle bracket, you write P and you close it. Sorry, and every tag you always write them in lower cases. This is mandatory. You write it, then you close the angle bracket, and the space between them is not necessary. It won't reflect. As you can see from here, I gave space here and I gave space here. It didn't show here. It's still normal. So don't be confused. I can write hello world, save and refresh. This is a paragraph tag. As you can see clearly, it's a paragraph because it gives a space above, then it comes, and the text is not big and it's not small. So these are example of tags which we would share a lot of them more in the group inside the document, which you would try and play with them so that you would get used to them and know them and their uses. So in the next phase, we are going to talk about the most important elements tags. We will talk about the image tag, the links, the paragraphs, and the heading once again. Okay, so guys, we are going to talk about the elements, opening content, and closing. So an HTML element is made up of three parts: the opening tag, as we talked about it earlier, the content inside it, that means the content you are writing for that tag, and the closing tag. That entire thing is an element. So take note. The browser reads the element and displays the content properly. So you should take note of this. The browser reads the elements and displays it properly. So let's talk about some elements. Let's start with the heading tags. The heading tags ranges from 1 to 6 in order of decreasing sizes. You might be confused, what did I mean by that? Let's try it. Earlier we wrote H1 and we close it. Let's write hello, save it, and let's go back to our browser and see it. This is the first one, H1. Why not let's try it H2? If you're a curious person, you try H2 and you see it. So you save it, sorry, H2. You save it and you go back and refresh. As you can see, this one, the size is decreasing. Let's try H3, and you can copy yours and paste. You save and refresh. You see the size is still decreasing. Let's try H4. Let's try H4, and let's try H5, and let's try H6. Then refresh. So as you can see, the thing is decreasing in size, the biggest and the smallest. So these are the only six heading tags we have. You cannot write H7 or H8. The only things you have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. This is for heading. All the headings you see in your live websites are used with these tags. So what is the next thing? Let's talk about paragraphs as we stated earlier. What is paragraph? How do you write a paragraph now? You open the angle bracket, you write the P, lowercase, you close it, and you write hello. You can write anything, hello world, my first website, tags. You save, you refresh, and this is your paragraph. So we've talked about two tags now, or should I say we've written two elements, the heading element and the paragraph element. So let's talk about the other part or other aspects of tags. Let's talk about lists. Most of you have seen a lot of things in the website, in some websites, and you'll be wondering how is this inserted. Let me give you a sample quickly, then we go over it. Um, Most of you have seen this a lot, and you'll be like, how is this written? How? I usually see this in Microsoft Word, but how is it brought here into websites? So how do you write them? And you sometimes you see this also. Let me show you before explaining. Sorry. You see them counted orderly and nicely, and you'll be like, wow, this is nice. So how do you write them? Today you write them, and it will be part of your task for today. So let me clean everything first. What are they? They are called lists. They are called lists. And how many types of lists do we have? We have two types. We have two types of lists. We have unordered lists and ordered lists. So the unordered list is the one that you would see the dot dot dot, but the ordered list is the one you see one, two, three, four. So they are having slight difference. So how do I write the unordered list first? The first thing you do is to open your HTML tag, hit UL, and you close it. So as you can see, this is the UL. We have unordered list, unordered list. That is UL. So you must have this for it to work. What will you do next? For each list you want to create, you do li. Let's say Apple. You save. Let me delete this. You save and you refresh. You see, Apple is listed. And I want to add another list. I will duplicate this li and write another fruit. Let's say orange. Save, refresh, and orange is there. So what you just need to keep in your mind is you must have the UL opening and closing. Then in between the UL, you will keep listing any items you wish. So what are the difference between the ordered and ordered list? It's just the UL. This is UL, which is unordered list, while the other one is OL, which is ordered list. If I just change this O, sorry, this is lowercase o, and change this also, the VS Code has helped me, and save. If I refresh, it becomes ordered 1, 2, 3. So these are examples of the tags that we usually see on the website. We'll talk about the images and the links tag right away, and we show how to link images and links. So let's go to the next page. Thank you. Okay, so guys, we are still on elements, opening content and closing. So we'll talk about images and links. Then I will give you the tags you do, and that's the end of this video. So let's talk about the images. Let's head to our VS Code. We drive an image tag. You'll be confused like how is images displayed in the browser. So what will you do first? If you are on mobile, you get to your PC, then you get to your file manager, sorry, and you get an image and you take it to the folder we created earlier, the web dev SceneBright folder. But if you're on PC, you do the same as I am doing. So what will you do? I copied an image from my file explorer and take it to the folder we created for this bootcamp. So this is the image and this is my file. So if you head back to your VS Code, you'll see it there. So the best thing to do is also rename that image to something easier, very easy. Even 3 letter words is nice. But I name mine as image and I leave the extension .png. Don't touch the extension. So what will I do next to display an image? I would write the HTML tag for that image. Then I would give the attributes for that image tag. Some HTML tags have attributes while some do not have. Like the image tag has an attribute but the heading, paragraph, etc. don't have. So the image tag attribute is src, which means the source to the file path. So already this image is inside the project folder, so we are already close to it. We'll just give it the source, which is given the name image.png. And then one thing I want you to notice is this image does not have a closing tag. This is how it closes. These types of tags are called self-closing tags. Self-closing tags, very important. Normally you would write the closing tag for the tag, but this is not happening here. It has its own self-closing tag, which is just to write the slash, then you close angular, the angle bracket. So with this, I can save, go to my browser, refresh, and boom, this is my image. What a nice thing, very nice thing. So let me go again, the image tag, then the source, which is the attribute. The source is just keep it in mind like the path, the location of that image. The location of the image is is very close. So I don't need to write the location, I'll just give the name. So that is why I advise you to bring the image into that folder and also rename it to something easier. So this is part of it, very nice. And I save and I refresh and it's there. So one other attribute is the alt tag. Sorry, mistake. One other attribute is the alt tag. We just write alt, you save. The alt tag is the name, is an attribute in the image tag. So it is very important for images. It helps in SEO, which is search engine optimization, and it helps people that cannot see, rather they are using some technology to access websites. It can help them to describe the type of website, the type of image that is there. For example, this is a CSS logo. I can just describe it here, CSS logo. It won't show For now, I say nothing will happen clearly. But what if I mistakenly put the wrong location for this image and I refresh? You will see that the name is there, that alt tag. So this is one of the importance of the alt tag. Very important to write it. So we are done with the image. You can see it there. So let's talk about the link. How do I write a link? A link that if I click it, I would go to other pages. First, before writing the link, let's create another HTML page or HTML file. How do I do that? New file, I can name it second page, or let's do it index2.html. Boom. So what's the next thing to do? I hope you don't forget it. Is to generate the structure of the HTML. Boom, we are here. So we can write our heading as we learned earlier. So sorry, each one. Um, I see second page. As you can see, this is a complete separate website. Sorry, separate page. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. So from here, let's say I am on the internet and I'm scrolling in the first one. This is the index, and I want to go to the second one. That is index two. How would I do that? I would use the link. How do I write the link? I would open my angle brackets, then write a, sorry, lowercase, then the attributes. As I said earlier, the images and the links tag have attributes. What is the attribute for the link tag? It is href, which is also the same thing for location for the second page. You just don't give a link and you expect it to read your mind for the location you want it to take you. It must have a predefined location you want it to go to. So I would close the a tag, but take note, this a tag or link tag is having a closing tag. You can see, and this is the opening tag. So I think so far this is the only tag we treated as a self-closing tag, but we will send the rest soon. So what will we do next? The href, which you write href, then you write equal to then two quotes. So what is the meaning of the href? It means give the path to that other page. So what is the path? Index2.html. I want to go to index2.html. So this is the location I want to go to. As you can see in the image, the path, how do you write the path? You use source src, but in href, in a tag or link tag, we use href for location. So let me write click me, save, and refresh. You can see this is the link. Let me try the magic. Boom! It takes me to the second page, which was created here. Second page. This is very, very nice. Very, very nice. And you get to create a full-fledged website with all these features. So let's head over to the task section, which you'll be given a task and you will complete it. Okay, guys, let's look at the assignment we are supposed to do today. So we are going to build something like this. I hope we will be able to achieve that before tomorrow. This is sample. You can see a lot of headings, paragraphs, attributes, images, again headings, lists, and links. And the link to this Google should give you directly to the Google, give the path to the Google. As you can see, this is I'm not connected, so but you see the link is google.com. And also, if you can see, the title of my website is the 2 HTML basics. So this is what I want also. So this will be the tags for today. So thank you for watching this video, and please make sure to subscribe and give us a like. Thank you. So anticipate for the third video of the week. Thank you very much.